Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the PLA podcast. I have no other than Anand Gopi today. Welcome to the PLA podcast, Anand. It's such a treat to have you on here.
Yeah, I'm. Thanks for having me here, Dunia. I'm really excited for this episode. Again, someone podcast with someone like you. It's really a privilege for me to share up my experience. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I'm truly looking forward to it. And I would love to formally introduce you to our audience for those who don't know you and haven't had the absolute privilege of getting to know you like we have at the PLA community. So, welcome. This is Anand Gopi, seasoned program manager with 15 plus years of experience in manufacturing and the automotive sector. Career journeying from the assembly lines of Chennai, the Detroit of India, to leading global cross functional teams in Michigan. Early career with leading automotive firms such as Hyundai and Simpson, building expertise in high volume production. Moved to the US to pursue graduate studies at Western Michigan University, expanding both professional and personal horizons. Currently a program manager at MAHLE Industries, where he leads cross functional teams across continents, drives cost saving initiatives, and helps launch new products, shaping the future of mobility. Actively volunteers with the Project Management Institute as manager affiliates, committed to community impact and professional development. And it's such a treat to have you on here and to get to formally introduce you to our audience today on the PLA podcast.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great introduction. Thank you for that.
It's a true treat to have you on here. And I would love to, get a little bit more insight because I actually don't know the story of how it all really began. I'd love to know what was the real start of your career and take us back to that time.
Yes. I graduated. So I was brought up in a small township. My dad worked for an atomic research, so it was a small township. Um, I didn't have much exposure. Like my anyone in this township will either become a doctor or an engineer because like most of the person that we see are like doctors. They are doing their doctorates in atomic research or and those kind of stuff. So we had a it's either doctor or engineer. So once I'm done with my school, I joined my engineering at Vellore Institute of Technology and did my mechanical engineering down there because my entire family is mechanical engineers. My dad, my all my uncles, my brother, like everyone are into mechanical engineering. So I was like very much interested in it, and then I started doing the mechanical engineering. And once I graduated from mechanical engineering, there was a company pretty close to my house, and my friend's dad was the VP of that company for engineering. So he's like, there is an opening. I can refer you for that position, and then he did refer me, and then I joined in that one. I didn't have any kind of, what I'm getting into that. So I joined that position, and then I was like, it's a very very old, very a company which has a very strong core values. And then I was like 21-year old, a production engineer managing like 72 people who are like a very strong union company. So it was really tough at the beginning, but the people were like great. I think that's one company where I learned, the people are the core asset for the company. So that's where I learned that. So that company is still being going. It's more than 150 years old. They are still going strong. So that's where I started my career, and then I moved into like Hyundai Motors, where so during that time in 2000 in India, like Hyundai and Ford were like a really big company. So that was the goal for any mechanical engineer or production engineer to get into. So I was able to get into that. That was like really good. Like when I joined in, it was like really a high volume car assembly line. So it was like really exciting to be there every day. And then I was like, there's something missing. I want to go. I got a little bit hungry now. So I want to go. I want to explore personally and professionally. I want to expand. So I had like a lot of friends in US. And then I took like 10 days off from the company, and then I wrote my GRE, and that's how my US journey came. I came to Western Michigan, and it's been like 17 years right now. I'm in Michigan, working in Hyundai in at Male Industries right now.
Incredible. And then I love how mechanical engineer is literally in your DNA.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So
They say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. This is a perfect example of this.
yeah,
And I would love to actually pick your brain and just kind of go back to the moment where you are, you're 21 years old, you're managing a group of people, over 70 people. I'd love to know what was going through that young man's brain. I mean, that's a big responsibility for such a young man, really.
yes, yes. I think I think it's not so. It took me some couple of months to get used to that. The people also were really good in accommodating me. So they were like people who were working in the line. They have been working in the line like probably 30, 35 years. I have to manage them. They were really good. They know, like, I'm fresh, I'm a really green guy just coming out from school. So I have done a lot of mistakes, but they have a lot of lessons. I learned a lot of lessons, and they were like people at the floor who were able to train me and teach me the right way whenever I do something which is not right. So it was difficult at the beginning, but then I got really connected to the people. I know what the management expectations are, and then how you deal with the local, the culture, and with the team down there. So I think the team has been a really, really good, and they complemented really well with me. So I think that's how I was able to get through that.
That's incredible. And I love that you shared that this was the experience that led you to understand that people are really at the center of the organization. If it isn't for the people, there is no organization. And taking care of those relationships is so key, really.
Yeah,
And I love
yeah,
that you learned that so early in your career. Most of us it takes years before we come to those realizations. But from you, it was right at the very beginning.
yeah, yeah. It's great. Like we fight from morning 7 to 5. We have like a lot of arguments and all those things. But at 5 o'clock when we go out, we are all like one team. Like we just go out, we just hang around, and then next day morning it comes at 7 again. It's the whole. It starts back again. It's a very, very strong union company. So they can't do certain things.
Mm.
It's in the agreement. So, but uh, it was difficult, but it was really great to work with those people and then get through that.
Oh, I love that. It's like never going to bed angry. It's
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, when we walk out of those doors, we're one team,
Yep.
no matter what happened today.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I'd be really curious to know, after all of your experience over the years and, the wisdom you've accumulated, I'd love to know, what is one piece of advice you wish you knew at the very beginning of your career, knowing everything that you do know now?
Yeah. Um, Definitely, I will say like one standard piece that it says like you need to get a coach or a mentor, someone who you wanted to be. Like if you want to be like a director of production, director of manufacturing engineer, or a plant manager, or you want to be like someone who does, you have to get a coach or a mentor. Get started with them. Find them. And the next piece of advice like that someone would have told me is like, don't stay in your comfort zone. Whenever you come out of your comfort zone. So that's something that I learned later part of my time. So whenever I'm in a comfort zone, I just like it's I'm sitting there. So come out of your comfort zone. So that's one thing that I will tell. And then start. Don't wait. Start before you're ready. So that's another thing.
Oh, I love that. I love that piece around mentorship, getting out of the comfort zone and start before you're ready. They're all such key pieces of advice. And no matter where someone is in their career, really, they can actually take that and run with it and start implementing it and
Yeah.
get a lot of value out of those.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Yeah. So when I came to US, I just stayed with, people from my city, and, just I was being with them for 2 years. I never went out and explored this, Michigan or the culture, the local culture very much. So, if I get a chance, probably I will go back and stay with, I would have connected a lot of other fraternities, people. So I would do that. So never stay in your comfort zone. Come out of it. It's the world is so big. You will learn ton. You'll get ton of experience.
And I love that opportunity for networking when we reach out of our circle, our community, and the places we tend to spend a lot of time in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, go for it, Anand.
Yep. And same thing. What's you're responsible. Again, other thing that I learned one thing I will say is, like, we always believe like someone is going to come to you and hand over your, like, say, Anand, you have your 10K because you did a great job. Here's your promotion. It's no one is going to come and do that. You are responsible for your career. That's something that, I learned at a later part of my career, but I think that's one piece of advice I will tell to anyone who starts their career journey. Like, you are responsible for your career. You have to design it. You have to progress it.
Incredible. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that there's so much value ahead. We all known this at the beginning of our careers. It is the success really is our responsibility.
Yeah.
I'd be curious, so many of us talk about the highlights of one's career, the big accomplishments, the shiny moments. But I find so much more interesting to talk about what were the difficulties? What were those moments where you're thinking, these were the biggest challenges or the most challenging moments of my career? And this is what I learned from them. I find there's so much more richness, and people can truly relate to when they're in their own difficult times to those shares. So I'd love to hear yours.
Yes, yes. Some of the challenges, like, I you can be great, in technical, but you have to be cross functional. So that's something that, the challenge that I had. So if I'm building a car, for example, if I'm a manufacturing engineer building a car, I just build a car, and then, you know I improve the process. I just cut. But you have to be more cross functional. You need to know, like, okay, how is the supply chain, where the parts are coming from, how the supply chain is going to affect my production line. And then you have to see, like, understand, okay, if there is any delays, if there is any shipment issues, like, how is that going to get affected, or how is quality is affecting, my production. So you have to be much more cross functional than just being technical, and, being just was one part of it. So that's something that, it was really challenging for me. All I did, like, I used to do my part, and then I used to do my part really good and get out of it. But I never went and learned the whole business. So I think that's something that was a little bit challenging. I think now that's one of the reason I moved into, like, program management, where you learn the entire business, not just one piece of, a task. Um, so that was great. Again, the other challenge that I had was, like, when I moved to US, like, I had, like, a lot of cultural challenges, you know. So that so I will say, like, a classic example. I used to say, like, how, so when I got an internship in 2008, I so we had, like, me and my one more intern buddy. We guys were sitting there on the first day of my internship, and then the VP comes and he introduced himself to us. So as soon as I saw a VP, I just, like, stood up from my chair. That's something, like, in India, like, coming out from a culture, you stand up, and then, as a piece of respect for elders, you say that. But my other buddy, he was, like, cool. He was super confident. He had his, like, legs crossed. He's like, hi Mike, and he was like, I was like, wow. It took me a time to realize that. But, those kind of cultural shocks, and then I used to address everyone as sir. So that one was, again, like, coming. Those things were challenging, but I'll say, like, think globally but act locally is something that I learned. Your thoughts can be, like, much local, but, you need to understand the culture. You need to understand, how people are, how sensitive our people are, how things gets done in each culture. So you need to learn that. Being in a program management, we deal with we have a cross-functional team. I have in any project, I have my teams in Mexico, Europe, India, and Eastern Europe, and then China. And of course North America. So we have teams all over. Each have their own style of work. There is a cultural difference between all the countries. So you need to know that you need to adapt yourself. You need to act pretty locally. So that's one thing that I learned. I'll say it was challenging at the beginning, and then I learned that. Again, think globally but act locally. So
I love these two pieces of advice are so key. Like, focusing on oftentimes we get siloed in our specialty and we forget that there's so many other parts of the business to understand. And it makes us indispensable when we are someone who understands, how what we are doing is affecting other teams and how we can adjust any approach necessary because we understand the other parts, where things are coming from, where things are going, who else is working on this project that may not be part of our department or team or specialty. And that's key. I think that that's a really important thing to remember, especially those that don't come from the startup world, that have been in a more traditional corporate, not to get caught up in that bubble that we oftentimes see. And part of it, I think that you bring up such an important point. We have to make a conscious effort to be able to go and understand the rest of the business. That's
yes,
not always going to be, our managers aren't going to lead us to do
yes,
it. Others aren't going to encourage it. This really does have to come from us. And I think that that's such an important lesson that you've learned and that you're sharing with the audience today. And I loved your quote, think globally, act locally. And you're right. Sometimes it's these very subtle cultural differences that make a world of a difference. You think, oh, how we address one another, how we act, how we talk to each other. And it's quite important in so many ways. It allows a little bit more affinity when it comes to those relationships and networking at the office or with clients, etc.
yeah, yeah. Those were some of the lessons that that I learned. Some of them in a hard way. Some of them, I was able to learn them through.
Oh, and they're so valuable. I love them. It's the first time they're being shared on the podcast, so I'm sure the audience is getting a ton of value already from this episode. And it's amazing to have you on here as always, Anand. Thank you for your shares.
Yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, I'm excited.
I do have another question. Obviously, AI has been like the hot topic for the last few months. Since I'd say even the last year at least has been, it's hit the public and the public has had all kinds of reactions and perspectives and opinions about it. I'd love to know what has been your take and your perspective and what do you think about what's happening with AI today?
Sure. Um, I'll definitely say AI is a tool. I get a lot of people say like, oh, AI is going to replace program management. AI is going to replace developers. AI is going to replace certain things. I necessarily don't believe that it's AI is going to be replaced. I think you will be replaced by anyone who's using AI if you're not a person who's using AI. That's my thought. So in the program management field, um, AI is going to help us a lot. It's going to be a tool. You or many of the companies right now, we have been using it personally or professionally at work. It's going to do a lot of things. For example, in program management, it's going to update my risk management. It's going to update my, all my dashboards automatically. It's going to do a lot of things which you do, but I don't think it's going to speak with a it's going to develop a relationship, like in this field you have to have a lot of relationship. It's going to be a lot of thoughts that goes behind it, decision making. If it can say a product is good or not, but it's the engineers who's going to make that. The people are the one who's going to make the decisions on that. So I would say, like, in future, you will be paid. AI is going to do all the work, but all the thoughts and all those things, it will be the engineers who will be like. That's how we have to evolve. You will be paid for your thoughts, not for the work that you are doing. It will be your thought gets paid, not the things that you do, the
Mm,
administrative things that will be gone. That's AI is going to take over that. Updating your task, those things will be gone. Doing like a capital capacity studies. Those things will be gone, but your thoughts will be paid. That's you get paid for your thoughts. So that's what I believe how AI is going to be helpful for us.
Wow. It's so interesting. I haven't heard that. I love that piece of getting paid for our thoughts rather than the implementation of those small tasks that are taking up a lot of time, energy, and
Yeah.
effort in our schedules. Less so now as we are starting to apply AI. But I think that you're right. And I love that piece around your share. You're not going to get your job isn't going to be replaced by AI. It's going to be replaced by someone who's actually utilizing that tool and is probably far more efficient now that that tool is being utilized.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So as I say, like the work of the my work is going to be much efficient. Since now I'll be spending more time on how I can make things better, how what's going to be the future and all those things. Working on developing the product instead of updating my open item list, sending out tasks, following on the task. So I that those part will be gone. And then you'll be spending more efficient time in enhancing things. So
Absolutely. I know that you and your better half have invested in yourself so much and have worked on your growth and your expansion and your evolution and have really put at the forefront, prioritizing working on yourselves, not just for your careers, but for the betterment of the entire, for all facets of your life. I'd love to know what originally brought you to a community like PLA.
yes, that's a great question. Um, I personally I want to improve myself. When I say I was I stayed in my comfort zone a little bit longer than what I'm supposed to be. I need a lot of mindset change that I need. Um, so, for example, I'll say this. Last week, we guys went to the Traverse City Dunes. Probably, I don't know whether you have heard about the Traverse City Dunes. There is a huge dunes there. It's a 450 feet drop, and it's very difficult to climb up. It's not easy. It's a difficult level of climbing because the sand sucks. It's your heart. It's and then it's a $3,000 if someone wants if cop the sheriff has to come and rescue there.
Wow.
I used to visit that place from 2012. I've been going there 13 years. I've gone there probably like 7 to 8 times, but I never dared to go down there and climb the dunes up. But this time I went there. I said like I'm going to do that. That's the mindset PLA has given me. Go get things done. Don't wait. There is no perfect time to start. Again, start before you're ready. I went down the dunes, touched the water, and then came up. It took me like 1.5 hours to climb up the dunes, but I did it. I
Wow.
don't fear. So that's the mindset that PLA has. That's the mindset I need. Imposter syndrome. I had that. What that person is going to think, what this person is going to think. I don't have that now. I go whatever I want. I do that. So those are the things that I want. My personally, I want to improve. Again, as a family, me and my Shruti Amritnath, we both have been like um, we work together. There are a lot of changes that we have done. We always we at home we just made that we are not going to speak or speak ill of anyone, speak ill of anything else. So it's always positive thoughts that we have been speaking. I think these things, all this mindset change, and then the support, the coaching that I get, from Vamsi, Venkat, and yourself, Brendan. So those are all great. It just not makes me it gives me a lot of positive thoughts, and then proximity is something that I believe is very very important.
Yes.
um, I think the PLA proximity is one of the best that I've ever got. There is no, there is, there's, you have like so much motivation around, things. People call you and say like, hey, did you get things done? I have like so many growth buddies with whom I work. They are like, if I'm behind or if I'm off track, they get me on track. That's I don't have to worry about whether I'm achieving the goal. There is always a ecosystem that's been developed around me that will push me to where I am. So all I need to do is like have that positive thoughts, and then keep moving. So that's the reason that we guys are there, and then it's PLA has been like amazing in that in that in terms of that.
And I love this thing. Even I have the visual of like, the whole house, no ill thoughts of anyone else in the house, and it's incredible. It's like this is what, so many that have worked on themselves for so long aspire for them and their spouse, for them and their team at home. It's such a gift, and it's a true testament to both of your dedication to the work as a team, really, and supporting each other through this growth. It's very inspiring to have you both in PLA and to see you both grow and thrive and take this opportunity and make the most of it. I think, so many of us can be handed these opportunities, but to really make the most of it really takes dedication and commitment and an understanding of the value of what's on the table for us.
Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. I tell my parents. My parents used to come to from visit us during summer every year, and this is the first time they are visiting us after I joined PLA. So probably I think before um, 2022 or something, when they come back, when they go back, they're going to tell. I know like what kind of discussion they may have with their friends or family. It's like Anand is still a kid. He's like, he needs someone. He needs someone to wake him up. He needs to someone to make his bed, clean up things. And then he need a push to go to office on time and all those things. But things this time, things might change. They might go and say like, I don't know what happened to that kid. He's like he wakes up at 5 in the morning. He works out. He keeps his room really clean. His thoughts have been changed. The way that he speaks, it's different. I think that's the discussion that they might have when they go back to India, and that's what they are going to discuss. I think those things have been possible because of PLA and the proximity.
Incredible, incredible. Thank you, Anand, for the incredible words. And PLA has been such a gift in so many people's lives. Really,
Yeah.
it's no testament that we are proud to be on the PLA podcast and to share these incredible testaments of its value and the impacts it's had on every single one of our lives. And I would love to know, before we close the PLA podcast, what excites you about what's still coming up in the future for you?
Yes. Definitely. So what really excites me is the opportunities that opened up when I started PLA. So when I started the PLA, once he asked me like, hey Anand, um, what what do you want to be? Like I said, like, oh, I want to go to the next level. Why not like CEO of your company? I never thought about it. I thought my world is so small, but it's opened up so big. I realize it's so big. There are so many opportunities outside. As I said, like there was a lot of I doubt myself. I self doubt a lot. Those things are gone. I still I doubt, but I can come out of it much faster. So there are really a lot of good things that I'm excited about. I've started my 90 days writing challenge, like where I'm going to write about, like I picked up 90 topics, I'm going to write about those things. I am excited about things that I'm going to do with a lot of courage. It might be the workouts. It might be my writing, and then how those things which eventually take me will make me move to the next levels in my career or in the personal things. So those are some of the things that I'm really excited.
Oh, I love that. And it's the first time someone shares that on the PLA podcast about like those habits and discipline, and not so much about these big, lofty external goals, knowing that the habits and discipline is actually where the goals will get done naturally and with a lot more ease. And, by staying consistent and staying committed, this is how it
Yeah.
happens. Oh, thank you.
Yes. Yes. Yep. Definitely. Like consistency is like it's a reputation, and consistency is going to be your mother of the success. I think that's one thing like PLA has been very much my coaches. All the coaches have been like insisting and been teaching us. We are following up that. I think that will take you if you have all those habits and all your thoughts, and then the plan. I think that will take you wherever you want to be.
Incredible. Incredible. And for anyone watching that is curious, like, what is this PLA community? I'd love to just get a little bit more information. The PLA community hosts this incredible challenge, free challenge for open to everyone that's curious or interested. You can scan this QR code and find out a little bit more about it, when the next one will be. And I guarantee that you will leave with so much value by attending this training. Uh, it can be absolutely transformative if you implement some of the tools and strategies that are provided absolutely for free in this incredible challenge that you will find through this QR code. So, Anand, I just wanted to thank you for your time and thank you for the wisdom you've shared. It's been an incredible episode, and it's been such a treat to have you on as our guest today on the PLA podcast.
Hey, thanks, Dunia. It was, as I said, like I loved it. Again, it was great opportunity for me. Thanks for that, providing that opportunity. Yeah, thank you. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. And truly looking forward to everything that's still coming for you. For everyone watching, hopefully we'll have Anand on for another episode. And until then, we will catch you on the next PLA podcast episode. Have a nice day, everyone.
Thank you. Yeah, bye.